When I look at the role of county government, it's a partnership. It's a partnership between the business community and the community as a whole. Our initial responsibility is public health and public safety. And so when we started with the impacts of COVID back in March, the focus was on the highest at-risk populations, making sure that we could help keep them quarantined and keep them safe. The next step was to make sure that people understood that they've got to keep the physical distancing, they've got to keep the personal hygiene, and we have to work with them to move forward. You know, when you look at putting orders in place, one of the challenges, and that was the challenge under the Supreme Court, can it be enforced? You know, even the Attorney General's opinion that came out last week admitted that most of the orders were probably not enforceable by law enforcement the way they were written. So then it's really just, again, another recommendation or a guideline to move forward on. What we did in the county is we said, okay, we're going to give you recommendations. Here's what we're doing. We're working with our business and our community partners to keep people understanding COVID virus is still here. We still need to work through it. But at the same time, we have to empower people to make the right choices and move forward together with us.
I feel personally responsible for the safety and the well-being of every single resident of Dane County. And first and foremost, my job is to protect them to the best of my ability from harm. That's the virus, that's the economic hardship, that's all the challenges that face us. Voluntary guidelines in a situation like this just don't work. We saw what happened when the Supreme Court struck down the guidelines and people crowded into bars. This is not just about the individual and their liberty to rush into a bar that's packed. Our actions impact our neighbors. And the guidelines, while no one is crazy about them, I certainly don't like them. And the orders we have in place, I believe, is a reflection of what my community wants me to be doing, is pulling people together, giving guidelines. Sure, there's some folks who aren't going to like it and would rather have them not be in place. But if we're going to watch out for our neighbors, if we're going to watch out for the vulnerable people in our community who are at risk of death if they contract this virus, we unfortunately, in a global pandemic, which is something we're facing, if the federal government's not going to step in, if the state government's not going to step in, I believe it's critical for the county government to step in and do everything in our power to protect our citizens.